Nos Music Network Magazine.
This is Making Memories off the EP of the same name. I found some peace in the valley below. Picture dreams cast aside. American spirits are chained throughout the night. As I gamble my piece of the light. Well, I'm not lonely, you're not by my side. Well, I'm not lonely, been running all my life. Well, I'm making memories instead. Well, I'm making memories instead. I'm making memories instead. Well, I'm making memories instead. I don't think much of these neon dreams, 'cause I've been hustled all my life. I feel for you, silver screen stories. Those dancing shoulders caught my eye. Well, I'm not lonely, and you're not by my side. Well, I'm not lonely, been running all my life. Well, I'm making memories instead. 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 Whoa, making memories. Whoa, I'm making memories. Whoa, I'm making memories instead. Whoa, I'm making memories instead. Whoa, I'm making memories instead. Whoa, I'm making memories instead.
Hi, it's Stuart from Time in Antarctica for Knots Music Network, and I'm here with David Ochrombel. Hey, David, how you doing?
Not bad, thanks. How are you?
Good, man. Good. So tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, so where do I start? I'm a Nottingham-based songwriter, and I'm just about to put out my second release. It's called Making Memories. I'm a solo artist. I sort of play up and down the country, and I'm really proud of this release. I can't wait to share it with everyone.
You actually recorded that in here, didn't you? Here at Ruffle.
Yeah, both releases. So my first release was called Great Walls, and it came out in late 2016. And I spent a good deal of time in this very room recording that release, and I was very proud of that. And I was touring that all throughout last year. I must have played in the region of 40 shows last year in support of that. And whilst doing that, I was back in here recording the follow-up, which was largely inspired by a trip I took across California, again sort of late 2016. And I bought myself a 12-string guitar out there and just wrote a load of sort of West Coast style sort of pop rock songs. And
yeah, that definitely comes through in listening to the two songs you've got online for that second release, From Making Memories.
Yeah.
So did you manage to bring the 12-string back?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Was that a nightmare, or was that pretty easy?
No, it wasn't too bad. It was relatively stress-free.
And it got back unscathed. Did you buy a seat on the plane? Did it have its own seat?
No, I put it in the hold.
Oh wow, brave man! I've heard all sorts of horror stories about that.
Yeah, it was a bit of a nervous flight on the way back.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But it survived, and I recorded a lot of the EP on it in here. I mean, the songs are very much inspired by that kind of style, but I like to think that I developed the sound that I sort of laid down in the first release. So it's still a continuation of referencing that kind of more succinct style of songwriting.
I was going to ask what you saw as being the progression from the first EP to the second one.
The first EP was very much me finding my feet as both a songwriter and a producer. In many respects, it's the first time I'd ever worked on any form of musical arrangement or any sort of professional recording. So I was just sort of, it was an exercise in me experimenting with both those elements, and it came out in this really, really personal sort of record that I'm immensely proud of. The sort of mission objective I went into the second release with was to write something more succinct, to the point, and be a bit bolder in my lyrics in terms of just getting to the point. So I like to think that I've done something equally as personal, but in a more mature and focused kind of manner.
I mean, I think you can write songs in your bedroom until you're kind of blue in the face, but it's only when you put a release out and it's that moment in time you have a reference.
Yes.
And I know that I've looked back on stuff I've done and it's like, yeah, I want to learn from what I did there, and it's like, I'm kind of glad I did that and had that record, but actually if I was to do that again, I'd do a whole bunch of stuff differently. I can't do that. That's a moment in time. So what I can do is take that forward into stuff I do going forward.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head, really. I'm always looking forward into, what's next, and in hindsight, maybe I wouldn't have made the same decisions now that I did, a year ago, 2 years ago. But at the same time, the releases that I made, I'm very proud of, and I wouldn't change them because it shows your development.
And I think for me, it's all the artists I kind of stay with and follow and remain interested in are the ones that do progress. It's like, that's when I go off a band. If they release an album that's pretty much a carbon copy of the big album they just released, it's like, well, you've stopped progressing. And for me as an audience member, I kind of lose interest after that.
I think it's always interesting with artists. Like, I've had a few people remark on my new material, like the 2 singles that are out, how different it is to the first release. Now, having lived with these new songs for a year, 18 months, it seems like a very gradual progression that I can see the kind of obvious way that I've progressed as a songwriter and in my production, whereas that might seem as quite a jump to some listeners.
And you're probably kind of a little bit thinking about the next lot as
Absolutely,
well.
yeah.
So it doesn't seem as big a jump because you've still got somewhere else to go. So
yeah.
And that's good. That's what keeps it interesting as a creator, right? Like if you know you're making progress and you know you can do better, basically, or not maybe better is the wrong word, but you've still got stuff you want to experiment with and
Yes.
push.
Well, I think it's always important when you're going into one of these projects to have like a sort of set of objectives that you want to achieve out of it. I think if you go in blindly, you're gonna, you end up swamped in ideas or, potential routes that you could go down. Like, I always think of writing a song on an acoustic guitar or piano, which is the way I write most of my songs, is just a sketch, and then how you approach that sketch, you could do it in 500 different ways.
Sure, yeah.
It might be the best way is to keep it acoustic or, just minimal, and it might be the best way is to put a massive arrangement on it. And I find that process absolutely sort of fascinating.
So did you, when you came in here to do the second EP, were they all sketches, or had you had some ideas? So was it kind of a studio creation, or were you, did you already know what you were trying to achieve when you came in?
Yeah, this second release was a lot more focused than the first one. So I'd say the approach varied between the two releases. So Great Walls, I came in just with those sketches, and I worked on the musical arrangement as we were recording. So it was very much an evolution within the studio. With Making Memories, I have a home studio at home, which is good enough for demos and that sort of thing. So I'd really sort of worked on most of the arrangements prior to coming in, because I knew exactly what I wanted to sort of achieve with it, and how I wanted to go about it. So I'd say like the time I spent in here on the second release was a lot more kind of focused to the point, just getting it down. And again, that was just kind of the theme of the project this time round.
I think you do need constraints on it, like you say. And that can be a blessing and a curse in some ways when you have a preconceived ideas. I know sometimes I've tried to properly record a demo, and it's like you can hanker after trying to capture the demo too much, and at some point you just have to let that go as well and go,
Yes.
well, it's not the demo, it's its own thing again.
Yeah, and no, there's always a risk like falling in love with your demos, and there are definitely some elements that I was chasing to capture the same thing that we had in the demos, and whether that was better or worse is completely up to your own interpretation of the situation. But I think what we managed to do in the end with the final product was really great. Especially I got my mate Pete Sen from the Stolen Wives, a sort of local blues band, in to drum on the record. And I always feel like when you put some live percussion on it, it brings the whole piece to life. Especially in the way that I record, like I'm often recording to a click track and layering stuff up myself. So
it gives it a bit more of a human feel, doesn't it? And it ebbs
Absolutely.
and flows slightly rather than being strict on the beat. So when you come to play live, presumably you're going to do a similar thing. You're going to be touring the new EP. Will you have a full band with you?
No, so I'm keeping it solo again,
Okay.
which is purely a logistical decision.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, but this time round, rather than just playing a full acoustic tour, I've sort of mixed it up. I've built a big old pedal board, and I've got lots of sort of ambient electric effects going on, just to try and make myself sound a lot bigger.
Interesting.
In a solo capacity, just to keep things interesting for myself and hopefully for the audience. But just just sort of got to keep challenging yourself live as much as you do when you're writing or in the studio.
Where are you looking forward to playing? Have you got dates lined up, or
Yeah, so
anywhere particularly you're looking forward to playing?
So I'm playing at the Tramlines Fringe Festival in Sheffield.
Oh,
this
nice.
Summer,
Okay.
At a place called Begborough and Steel in the city centre, which should be really nice. It's on the Sunday afternoon, and anybody who's been to Tramlines in Sheffield will know it's a great atmosphere across the city all weekend. So that'll be really good. I'm looking forward to that. It should be nice and chilled out. And I mean, for me, like as a performer, I just want to get in front of audiences with an appetite for original material, which is not always the easiest thing. And
No.
I appreciate that. If you're going for a drink, quite often you just want to hear what you know. But it means an awful lot as an artist. But even if you get through to two people, that's really the goal.
Yeah, I mean, you want people to listen to what you're doing, don't you?
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So where do you like playing in Nottingham?
I mean, there's so many good spots in Nottingham.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky.
Obviously, you've got places like Jam Cafe, which are always, you know, the right kind of audience and a good atmosphere and friendly and supportive. And then you've got some of the venues sort of further out, like the Maze, which I always love playing there. I think the sound's great.
Yeah, the Maze is a good venue. Yeah.
Could be a little tough at times to get the crowd in there, but when you do, it can be absolutely fantastic venue to play. And yeah, I mean, you know, like you say, we're spoilt for choice, really, you know, on the sort of local scene. I'll be launching my EP at the Head of Steam on the 7th of June, which is a sort of new bar down towards the Galleries of Justice.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm putting on a sort of little lineup of a few local artists. Jinder Bryant, who's a blues guy, who's absolutely fantastic. Nadia Ray, who's a sort of soulful pianist, London-based, but gigs regularly up in Nottingham. And Ben Mark Smith as well, who's a sort of an acoustic act. So
when's the EP going to drop? Is it the 7th of June? You're just going to... Yeah.
Yep.
So you're on course for that?
Yeah. Yeah, obviously it's a lot to get in line, but we've released the two singles so far, and you know, they've gone down really well. I'm really sort of pleased with that, and at this point, yeah, I'm just keen to get the full release out.
Is it going to be 4 tracks?
5 tracks.
5 tracks.
Yeah. So we've had the 2 singles. I might put another single out, you know, sort of after the main release. But yeah, I'm just excited to share it with everyone now. Like, I've lived with these songs for the best part of, you know, 18 months. So I'm just dying to get
Go
them
out
out
and play them. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. If you'd like to just tell everyone where they can find out, where they can go and listen to Making Memories, and where they can find out more about you.
Yeah, sure. So Making Memories is available on Spotify and iTunes and Amazon and all the major platforms. And it will be available, like the full EP, on all those platforms on the 7th. In terms of gigs and information, I'm on Facebook at David Ochrombel Music, just all one word. You can find me on Spotify, on Bandcamp, Reverb Nation, all of the above. Really, Facebook is the sort of go-to one. It's always up to date, and you'll find all the other links off that.
All right, great.
Great.
Well, thanks for coming in to talk to us.
No, thanks for having me. Cheers.
Cheers.
This song is the second single off the Making Memories EP. It's called Show Me Love. It goes like this.
Should I have said sooner? Ain't no crooner. I'm just a nuts girl, a kind of scum. Let me down gently. Ain't been good to you lately, but I've got to serenade these last words. 'Cause I've just got to. No, I've just got to. Slow me down, pick me up, show me love, show me love. Slow me down, pick me up, show me love, show me love. What's down the alley where we park the car? You tell me we've gone too far. Spun around slowly, feeling so holy. you off your knees and stop that crying. 'Cause I've just got to. No, I've just got to. Slow me down, pick me up, show me love, show me love. Slow me down, pick me up, show me love, show me love.